Okay, it is now time for my September TBR. After a, not stressful, but there were a lot of parameters put on my reading in August for the readathons. I had signed up to participate in a readathon this month, but I have decided not to do that. And so, is my TBR any shorter? No. I still have all of the parameters that I used to build a TBR. It's just a little bit more free thanks to not participating in a readathon. So what I'm going to start with are my lists. And the first thing that I'm going to say is I have decided not to read The Nightingales, which was my clearing off my oldest TBR book last month. And I haven't looked at any of those books that are still left on the list. And I think I might be choosing to take them off of my TBR, which would help clear that oldest TBR. Now, moving into the series that I want to start this month, that is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Now, I do have an ARC of the updated and revised 10th edition, which I've heard Samantha Shannon has put in a lot of work and she recommends reading instead of the original. Obviously, when I purchased this, revised hadn't come out, and so I think I'm going to read the ARC, but I'm going to use this as a stand-in. Next, we have a series that I am continuing in. I realized in my quest to finish series for long series, I need to be moving forward. And so I have chosen The Memory of Souls by Jen Lyons. This is book 3 in the Chorus of Dragon series, which I love. 4.5 stars to book 1, 5 stars to book 2. Hopefully it keeps up that trend and stays at 5 stars for the rest of the series. Now we have the series that I'm finishing. Technically, this is a companion novel to another one. It says it's featuring characters from that first book, which I think was A Tale of Two Castles. I don't remember exactly. This is an older book. It's shorter. It's one of the few pick up one book and finish the series that I have left. Next, we have my Buzzwordathon book, and for this I'm choosing Spellslinger, but I am basing it off of the UK cover, which has playing cards on the front. And the buzzword I think is games. And so I'm basing it based on that because I don't know if any games are in here. But this is a Sebastian de Castell book, and I just realized I actually have 2 Sebastian de Castell books on my TBR this month. He is Jade from Jade Reed's favorite author, or one of her favorites, so I hope I will also vibe with his writing. Then we have my 23 and 23 books, which I am almost done with those. I have just 5 of them left, including one very large one, which I'm a little bit nervous about. Sword of Kaigen. I've heard really good things about it and I'm hoping I love it too. But speaking to the ones that are on my TBR this month, we have An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I love the other one, the name of which is escaping me at the moment. The Magical Library one. And then we have Out of Darkness by Ashley Perez. This one is centered in East Texas, oil town. I don't know, there's no synopsis. I don't remember what this one is about, but I'm looking forward to it. Then to make sure that I am continuing with my nonfiction reads, I have one coming later in my book box subscription section of this TBR, but I have one more, so I have a minimum of 2, and that is a recent purchase, Waco by Jeff Gunn. And I'm really excited about this, not because of the topic, but because others that I know and trust their recommendations have read and loved and gotten a lot out of this book. And that's what I hope for. Then we have SEASL books, and I have 2 of them here. Are these the ones that I'm going to get to? Maybe, maybe not. I have a few over on my TBR cart that I may get to in August when I'm filming this. I may get to in this month, September. So the ones that I have here are Linked by Gordon Corman. He has been on the list before. I've read from him before. Decent author. Have enjoyed one of his works, but not so much the other one. And both of those works I read because he's been on the SCSL list. SCSL, you might need to branch out a little bit. And then the other one is a young adult that I have here, In the Wildlight by Jeff Zentner. Of course, tune into those videos to hear more about those or to my recent reads. Now we come to my book box books. So I do have yet another Aardvark book. Depending on the selections for September, I may or may not have one next month. So I have How Can I Help You by Laura Sims, a bit of a mystery thriller centered in a library. For Book of the Month, I have Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen. This was on the Literary Fiction Goodreads Choice Awards list last year, and I've heard really good things about this recently. Then for my TBR choice, I have the other nonfiction officially on my list, and that is Blood and Ink by Joe Pompeo. The reason that the bibliologist chose this one was because I had put Killers of the Flower Moon onto my TBR. At that point, I hadn't read it, but I have since read it and given it 5 stars. So hopefully this is a good comp title. Then I have my Caffeine and Legends subscription, and here's the other Sebastian D. Castell book, his most recent one, The Malevolent Seven. This is about magic users or mages who don't necessarily do what you expect them to do. And then the last of my non-customized book box books is Parachute Kids by Betty C. Tang. I've heard really good things about it. This, I believe, is the first officially of the kids subscription once I switched to that. Now we have my customized subscriptions, and starting it off with one that I am not sure about, that is The Immortality Thief. It is thick, and I have heard that it is sci-fi horror, and horror's not really my genre at all. Light horror, maybe I can deal with. It's really not my preference. And then there's sci-fi where it has to hit just right. So I'm giving myself permission to DNF this if it's not working for me. I did not intend this, but the next Illumicrate book, because I'm trying to go in order now, is also a sci-fi, and that is The Red Scholar's Wake. Hopefully, again, this is a sci-fi that will hit the sweet spot for my sci-fi enjoyment. I may have 2 DNFs. I hope not. Then we have my Fairy Loot YA by Rebecca Mix. This is The Ones We Burn. I don't remember what this one is about. I've given some synopses for some of these books, and for others I haven't. I'm inconsistent. And then the last of my subscription books is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. This is the July book. Next month, I don't think I will have a book to read in October. I may if September's comes before October, because I skipped August, and this is the last of the adult Fairy Loot books that I have. This is by Chloe Gong. I've enjoyed 2 other books by her so far, so hopefully I will enjoy this one as well. So there you go. There's my TBR. I really like having these set parameters around there, but I might look into some other things to determine certain things about how I'm going to choose the books. I still want to make progress in a lot of my book box subscriptions, especially ones like Book of the Month, and maybe I will focus on book box subscriptions until I catch up with, say, Illumicrate and Fairy Loot. That'll be tough going because I have a lot of them. We shall see, because there's a lot of books on here that are not subscription books and they're not part of my lists, and I just don't end up getting to them. Ones that I'm excited about. These whole shelves, not this one is series, but these whole shelves here, I'm not really getting to because they're not series to finish and they're not book box books. So I may be switching it up, but probably not until January. Don't know why I'm talking about this now, but I've been thinking about it. So there you go. There's my September TBR. Ambitious. As always, I'm slowing down. I'm getting distracted by Sims 4. It is what it is. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.